Atlanta Bird Gang, what's popping? What's up? What's happening? What's going on, people? What's going on? What's going on? Victory Monday for us people or us fans that root for the Atlanta Falcons. After beating the Carolina Panthers, so we are now officially 4-4. So hey, good Monday for us, man. Good Monday for us. What a roller coaster game that was yesterday. You know what I'm saying? But as I've seen all over the internet, hey, the most important thing was that we won. You know what I'm saying? So we back doing our player grades this week. Um, we're not banging this week. We're gonna do our grades again for like the fourth time. I apologize last week. We didn't get an opportunity to do our grades. But we're definitely doing our grades today. We're gonna do our grades today. My man Winston Thorne checking in on YouTube says, "What's going on, Buck? How's it going with you, bro? What's happening with you, Winston? Appreciate you checking me out there on YouTube, bro. Thanks a lot." But yeah, hey, Falcons once again a 4-4. Um, some momentum going into the Chargers game, which will be in Atlanta. That's a game that we really need to win. I'm really hoping that we win. But y'all, give me a little feedback of how y'all felt about yesterday's game. How did y'all feel about the game yesterday? I know we talked about it a little bit after the game, but how y'all feeling 24 hours later, or a little bit over 24 hours? About 24 hours later. So how y'all feeling? 24 hours later. How you feeling about that roller coaster game that we had yesterday? Rusty, what's up, my guy? Rusty checking in says Falcons bad for the heart. Falcons are Falcons are a I love them like no other. But man, this is a unhealthy team to root for, man. Like, boy, the things that they do for you, things that they do to you watching a Falcons game, man. You better have you some liquor on deck. You better have your narcotic of choice on deck. Cause you definitely gonna need it, man. You definitely gonna need it. But y'all tell me what y'all thinking 24 hours later, man, about the game against the Panthers yesterday before we get into our player grades. Um Rest of the defensive trash, backups or not, that play was inexcusable. Yeah, that's consecutive weeks of a bad play. And tell me, Rusty, with the defense looking so out of whack these last two games, if you would Terry Fontenot Rusty, what do you go defense in the first round of the draft? You went offense the first 2 years with your first round pick. So do you give the defense some love in the first round, Rusty? What would you do if you were the GM, if you had the privilege of making that choice, what do you do? Because over and beyond, man, we gotta get better on the defensive side of the ball. And that's becoming apparent. We gave up a bunch of yards yesterday. Gave up a bunch of yards against the Bengals. We're gonna be playing a pretty damn good quarterback next game, so may have our work cut out for us. Hopefully, AJ Terrell will be back at that point in time. Russell says Carolina actually has a really good defense. We put up 37. If the defense can get straight, we will be good. And yes, defense in the first and second round, defensive lineman and defensive back. So Russ is saying the first two picks, he would go defense in the draft. Any particular players you got your eyes on as far as a defensive lineman or defensive back? I'm personally, man, I go back and forth with it. Because it seems like maybe the most logical thing to do would be go defense in the first round this year, especially being the first 2 years we went offense with the first two picks. So seems like you need to get the defense a piece of the pie at this point in time to help this defense out, to help the pass defense out. And then there's the other part of me that like, man, we still need a franchise quarterback. Um, I don't know if really gonna be that guy. Who knows? So that's that part of me because I know there's some good prospects coming out this year. So I just don't know. And the reason some of me is on the quarterback thing is because I feel like how we built this team drafting the first 2 years of the Fontenot administration, Kyle Pitts and Drake London. You eventually want to get somebody here that can throw the ball more consistently. And I do think Mariota did a pretty good job this past game yesterday. So I don't know, man. I'm in an impasse of really what I want to do. But the good thing about it is we got half the season to figure it out. The Falcons got half the season to figure it out. And no matter what Russ says, as you already know, we're gonna debate about it to the draft and after the draft. So it'll be a conversation that'll never stop. Facebook user says, after so many trashy years, I'm just enjoying the ride. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you in my Tupac voice. I ain't mad at you. I feel you, man. Hopefully we get a win the season this year, man. It'll be the first win this season since 2017. So let's keep our fingers and toes crossed. We've had a tough time getting over 500. We haven't been over 500 since 2017, I believe. So hopefully we win this game at home on Sunday, man. Russ says I'm on the Will Anderson train, but the way we're playing, we're not going to be picking in the top 10. Yeah, you yeah, you got to lower your expectations on that one, Rusty. We're gonna win some more games, so we definitely not gonna have a chance at him. We need a big nose tackle for the scheme. So whoever the best one on the board is, who we when we pick is who I would go. Um, Winston Thornton also says this entire offseason, the draft should be for the most part be dedicated to the trenches, both sides. Grady need help. We stifling his ceiling without giving him a legit running mate. Yeah, I can agree with you on that too. I think I think Taquan Graham has played fairly decent. Um, but you are right. We need a real legit person on that defensive line alongside Grady. Um, Marlon Anderson was supposed to, excuse me, not Anderson. Marlon Davison originally was supposed to be that guy, but he pretty much ended up being Tack McKinley Jr. Didn't give us anything for the very most part, but a lot of talk, just like Tack did, just a bunch of talk. So I feel you on that. We just I don't know why, but we have the toughest time as a franchise drafting like defensive linemen. With the and when I say defensive lineman, I'm including the interior and the exterior of the defensive line. We had the toughest time, man. If we could draft defensive linemen like we do pass catches, we'd be okay. No, we'd be better than okay. We'd be out fucking standing. Because we can draft some wide receivers. You know what I'm saying? We could draft the hell out of some wide receivers, but when it comes to defensive help, man. And but hopefully that's something that the Terry Fontenot administration will change for us. Because we have had so many duds drafting defensive linemen, man. Dud after dud after dud. We thought we had turned the corner with Vic Beasley, but he ain't had a heart for it. He ain't had a heart and the desire to be a football player. And he was just too light in the ass at the end of the day. That speed rush wasn't gonna consistently beat those offensive tackles. What's up, Facebook user? Facebook user asks Toddy, do you think we should trade, excuse me, for defensive help? If so, who? Um Not really. And I'm not saying that we don't need defensive help, but this is my thing. Because I totally understand this team is still in the rebuilding phase. I'm just not a fan of giving up any draft picks at all. I want to keep all our draft picks, and I kind of mentioned this. I think it was Saturday. Like, in order to get something from another team, we're gonna have to give something. So, in order to get like an impact player, we're gonna have to give up some quality draft picks or a quality draft pick. There's no team out there that's just gonna try to intentionally help us win our first Super Bowl. So I really would prefer to keep all of our draft picks. Continue to build through the draft. Get these young guys in here, continue to build through the draft. And since this upcoming offseason we'll have some money to spend, try to fill those holes that you can't fill in the draft through a free agency. So that's would be my thing if I was running the show, which of course I'm not. I just don't want to give up no draft picks, man. I just feel like we need to hold on to our draft picks for these next 2 years. And I know a lot of people don't talk about it, but we actually just recently did a trade. We did trade Deion Jones, even though that was more a future cap relief thing. We sent him out, and I think we got a 6th round, 7th round pick. I don't know. We traded him for peanuts. I can't remember was it a 6th or a 7th. I know we sent them back a draft pick late too, either a 6th or a 7th. So, one of y'all help me out on that. Rusty says Greedy Williams. Rusty also said they won't trade away any picks though. Yeah, that's what I'm scared of, man. Because just like Facebook user just asks, I know we need defensive help, but we're just not gonna get an impact player without giving up something. So if you want to go get a real impact defensive player that's gonna come here and help us be a better defensive team, it's gonna cost. It's gonna cost us something. It's gonna cost you a 2nd-round pick, 3rd-round pick, 4th-round pick. So I just don't want to give up anything. I don't want to give up any draft picks. We received a 6th and a 7th for Jones. Thank you, Facebook user. Facebook user, didn't we send out a draft pick though? Didn't we send out like a 6th or a 7th rounder? I thought. Or maybe I'm mistaken. I thought we sent out a 6th or a 7th also. Well, maybe I'm mistaken. Winston Thornton says we still have a trade chip in Ridley, but his stock is low. Great player, but teams may be worried about his character. I'm worried about his character, bro, as a Falcon fan. But you're absolutely correct. I know you just kind of get back, Winston. Again, welcome back. But that's been like one of our sidebar hot debates within the fan base that you either standing on the keep Calvin Ridley side or you standing on the trade Calvin Ridley side. And personally, I think he will definitely be traded, in my opinion. Unfortunately for us, we can't do that until he is reinstated in the league through the NFL. So that's something that we can look forward to in the offseason, trade him in the offseason. And you're right. All the baggage that he encompassed within this last 16, 18 months hurt his draft stock, hurt his draft value. So teams are going to be more reluctant than they would have been before this stuff happened. Hey, where's this guy's head at? Does he really want to play football? I mean, because can we trust him? And I'm gonna be honest, as a Falcons fan, I'll be feeling the same way. Like, and that's some of the reasons that I don't want him to continue to be on the team. And I think with being the Falcons' best interest, and also Calvin Ridley's best interest, just to start off fresh with a new team. But I'm sure we'll trade him. What do you think his value is? What do you think we could get for him, Winston, on the trade market? Mactown Mark, what's going on with you, bro? How you doing? Walter Mahone checking in from YouTube says, I think the Falcons will go all the way. Oh, my man, Walter. Okay. Walter checking in with, do we call that a hot take? When you say all the way, Walter, are you saying we're going to win the Super Bowl? Man, Walter said we're gonna go all the way. I like it though, Walter. I like it. I like it. I like it. I don't know if I would bet my money on that, Walter, but I like it. I like it. I like it. Uh, okay, Facebook user said I don't believe so. Okay, cool. Facebook user said why is my name Facebook user Weedy Morris? What you got to do, Weedy, is if you look like where I wrote my caption at, right? My caption says our weekly grading of our players after the Panthers game. Right under that, there's a second paragraph, and there's a link in that second paragraph. You need to click on that link, and that gives StreamYard permission to show your Facebook picture and your Facebook name. So basically, the software that I'm using to stream, it has to get permission from Facebook and really you in order to show your information like Rusty and Mark does. So just click on that. It don't even take 2 seconds, man. Just hit that link. Winston says we sent Jones and the 2024 7th for a 6th in 2024. That's what I thought. I thought we swapped out a draft pick. I can't remember, was it the 7th or the 6th or the 6th and the 7th? But I thought, yeah, that's what I thought. I thought we sent out a draft pick also. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay, Rustin says the same thing also. Jones in the 7th for a 6th and 24. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. So essentially, we had to even give up a pick to trade him for peanuts. You know, they gave us a dill pickle, a Wendy's hamburger, and a medium Dr. Pepper. You know, for Deion Jones. Basically, was a cap relief trade for the future. That's pretty much what it essentially was. I'm chilling. Mark. Just chilling. You think Prime gonna go to Auburn? I really don't know. I don't know. Ideally, if that's the job that he would prefer to have, because I know as coaches start to get fired from these big schools, they're gonna start definitely looking at Deion. But I'm positive that they're gonna put a full court press on him. You know, they're gonna talk to him. You know, they're gonna see where his head at. They're gonna talk to his agent. He's high on their list. He is definitely high on their candidate list. So it may be up to him whether or not he takes the job. To be totally real. But I know they're gonna go after him one way or the other. Winston says hopefully a third, but probably a fourth with the gambling issue. That's what I think too. I think you'll get like a fourth rounder for him. I think they're probably gonna be our best bet. Before the gambling thing, I thought he was a second rounder. In fact, I think that's what Philly was offering, a second rounder. But after the gambling thing, and now that he has more age on him, y'all, I think Calvin Ridley is gonna be like 28 next year. Let's see, Calvin Ridley age. Yeah, Calvin won't be 20. Calvin won't be going on 29. Well, he'll be 28. Well, let me just say this: he turns 28 in December, so he'll be going on 29 next year. So yeah, about a fourth round pick is what I'm thinking. Like I say, we would have did a lot better if all that stuff don't happen, but it is what it is at this point. I wish him well, but I just think it's better for the Falcons to move on. Rustin says we gave them Debo in the 7th and we got a 6th. Yeah, that's what I thought also, Rustin. So we didn't get none at all. Rustin says we are missing his cover skills right now, Debo. We are, bro. We definitely are. I mean, Deion Jones was not the best impact linebacker when it came to coming up, stopping the run. But damn it, he could play some pass protection as a linebacker. You right. We are all missing that. Mark says, I think Georgia Tech would be his best deal. He got them Atlanta roots. Definitely got them Atlanta roots. I would like to see it if he go anywhere. I think that'll bring some pizzazz to Georgia Tech. I'm a big time diehard Bulldog fan, but Georgia Tech still technically the home team also. John Harris checking in, says stumbling, rumbling, bumbling, fumbling Falcons, the liquor store, kill ass. My heart been being funny since 5 o'clock yesterday. I saw you at the game, John. Look like y'all enjoyed yourself, man. Oh, and also, John, I got a message from you, from somebody very important. I had got a text on my phone yesterday, and it was from Matthew Thomas Ryan, also known as Matty Ice. He told me to let you know, don't you ever step foot in his stadium again. He said, make sure y'all keep John Harris ass out my stadium. So, John, Matt Ryan said, don't go in his stadium. No more, John. David Starr says, as far as the Auburn job goes, they say Lane Kiffin is unhappy in Ole Miss. Rumors around. I saw that too. And Matt Rule as well. I think Atlanta Falcons will beat the Saints, and we can do it. Oh, I agree with you on that. We gonna drop a hammer on their ass in New Orleans. They came to Atlanta and we allowed them to sneak one in on us. But when we go to New Orleans, we're gonna return the favor. Okay, y'all. So let's get to the player grades. We get to the player grades. Let's go ahead and get to it. We always start off with defense. A lot of familiar faces in here, so most of y'all know how it works. But for those who don't, and those who may be new, what we do every week after the game is we grade our own players. We grade them on a scale of 1 to 10. Of course, 1 being absolutely trash. Son, turning your helmet. We're gonna cut you tomorrow. Don't you ever step foot on Flower Branch again. Bye. 1. 10, perfect. Can't get no better. Perfect game, exceptional game. That's exactly what we asked you for. So we grade them on a scale of 1 to 10. We always start with defense, so no need to change it. Russell says, someone said Matt was at the game yesterday. I don't believe that, but can anyone confirm or deny? They said it was for Todd's introduction into the Ring of Honor. Seems like bullshit to me. He might have been, because he seen John Harris at the game. He sent me a message telling me, tell John don't ever go in his stadium again. So Matt Ryan might have been there with his goons looking for John Harris. He might have been there. Who knows? I think Dion will be able to keep the kids from Atlanta schools like Mays and Douglas, which the Bulldogs get. Yeah. If Dion end up in any of these schools in the Southeast region, it's going to affect the rest of the schools in the Southeast region. Georgia, Alabama, wherever everywhere in this pocket. Florida, he's going to be pulling a lot of schools from a lot of players from a lot of states. So, y'all, let's get to our grades. Let's go to the grades. So we're gonna start off with defense as we always do. Let's see who we're gonna start off with first this week. Let's start off with Sure, let's start off with Cornell Armstrong. Why not? Called up into action because of all the injuries from our cornerbacks. Practice squad guy. Who was probably just happy to get in that nice check. Ain't playing in the game, getting that nice check, whatever. Both corners go down, and DMP said, hey, son, you gotta come in and play. So he comes in and play. Had a rough introduction into the NFL by Jamar Chase and the crew last week. But I think ultimately he did better this week. But let's look at his stats. Let's look at his numbers. Y'all tell me what y'all think. He had a total of 3 tackles. 3 of those tackles were solo. He also had 3 pass deflections. He led the team in pass deflections. So again, we're grading Cornell Armstrong, 3 total tackles, 3 solo tackles, 3 pass deflections. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would y'all give him on his grade? And while we wait on the grades, let's see what John says. You tell Ryan he don't pay no damn bills here no more. He flew here, I grew here. Don't make me bang on his ass. I'm gonna tell him what you said. I'm gonna text him back later on tonight and tell him exactly what you said. Because I don't think you You don't want no beef with Matt Ryan, John. I don't think you don't want to bark up that tree. But I'm gonna let him know exactly what you said. Facebook user says a D plus. And what we do, Facebook user, we grade on a scale of 1 to 10. So if you can give us your grade from a 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the absolute best. David Stark says 7. Kid got a little better with each snap. I think so. I think I saw his confidence building as he got more experience out of there. Because Jamar Chase, they just did him so wrong last week. I kind of started feeling sorry for him, David. Facebook user says a 4. John Harris says Armstrong 6, but improving. I agree. Facebook user says Armstrong solid 8. Okay, I can dig it. Facebook user. Robert, what's up, bro? Says a 6. See, Winston says if Deion leaves Jackson State for another college, it'll be to go home to Florida State. He said he wasn't going to leave because he wants to highlight HBCUs. So he might end up back at Florida State. That's where he wanted to go originally, but did not get the job. Armani, what's up, bro? Says 2, and Matt Ryan from the mean streets of Philly. Now, Pops John, I'm telling you, man, John don't want that smoke. John, no, he don't want that smoke, Matt Ryan. But Armani gives him a 2. Rusty gives him a 6. So any other grades for Armstrong before we close up these ballots here? And once again, we are grading Mr. Cardinale Armstrong from the practice team to the big leagues. Let's see. Winston says, I like Armstrong, a valuable depth piece. I give him a 6. Okay, so let's tally these grades up real quick. Look like y'all, he's about a what's up, Corey? Corey Sherman gives him a 3. So with Corey coming in, looks like he's at about y'all a 5.6, 5.8. Which means he was slightly above average. Definitely a lot of room for improvement. Very, very slightly above average, almost mediocre, slightly above mediocre. So definitely can play better, son. We understand that you are a practice squad guy, but hey, you getting a contract direct deposit from the Falcons. So hey, when your number's called, you got to step up and perform. So we'll move on to our next guy. Let's go with let's see here. Let's do Isaiah Oliver. Let's go with Isaiah Oliver, who I think is 2 weeks off of injured reserve. Cincinnati lit his ass up last week too. But we are now focused on the Panthers game. But his stats for Oliver. He had a total of 4 tackles. He also had 3 solo tackles, and he had 1 pass deflection. And that's for Mr. Isaiah Oliver. I will give you those numbers once again. Oliver had a total of 4 tackles, 3 solos, 1 pass deflection. So what are you guys' grades for Isaiah Oliver from yesterday? Still pissed off that Huntley didn't tuck his shirt in. Yeah, you come on, Huntley, man. You done went through high school and college, man. You know you got to tuck that shirt in. I know they chewed his ass out when he got to the sideline. And we're grading Isaiah Oliver. Facebook user gives him a 4. John Harris said, if Ryan won't ask, he'll have to break it. What the fuck, Ryan, and have to haul that safe, man. All right, John, I'm gonna send him those screenshots. Exactly what you said too. David Stars gives Oliver a 5. Facebook user says, can't put Isaiah on the island. No, you can't, man. You definitely can't. He more of a slot. He more of a slot nickel dime type of cover guy. That year that Dan Quinn them did try to have him on the island, boy, he was getting royally roasted and burnt toast. John Harris gives Oliver a 6.5. Facebook user gives Oliver a 6. Corey Sherman gives Oliver a 6 as well. And again, we are grading Isaiah Oliver. Any other grades for Oliver before we close the ballots for Oliver? Okay, so let's say we got for Oliver here. We got a 4, 5, 6, 5.7. So and also Robert gives Oliver a 6 as well. So that's gonna put Oliver slightly under a 6. He's right at about a 5.8. So look, just a tad, just an inch higher than Armstrong was. Again, slightly above average, slightly better than mediocre. Definitely a whole lot of room for improvement, Oliver. And I think you were in like your third year. So come on, son. Give us a little bit more. We know you're coming off injury, but we need a little bit more out of you, Oliver. And Winston also gives him a 6 as well. So that still keeps him around a 5.8, 5.9. It's just slightly under 6. Winston says Oliver a 6. He should be moved to strong safety and deep crossing routes. He's going to get roasted. Yeah, hey, that might not be a bad idea, man. It might not be a bad idea to put him out there strong safety and see what he does at that position. So we'll move on. Next, we'll go to this one should be interesting, I think. Should we do that? Let me hold on. Well, before I do that one, we're gonna do let's do Lorenzo Carter. Let's do Lorenzo Carter. Lorenzo Carter, who we got in of course in the off season to help bolster our pass rush. He had a total of 4 tackles yesterday. He assisted on 3 tackles, so he had 3 assists and he had 1 solo tackle. Now he did have an interception. He took that thing 28 yards for a touchdown. So you got to give him credit on that, man. That gave us some momentum. Had to cry lit when that happened. So let me give you them numbers again. He had a total of 4 tackles, 3 assists, 1 solo tackle, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. So he intercepted the ball and, of course, took it all the way back for the touchdown. And again, also, I'm sorry, y'all. He had also 1 pass deflection. So he really filled up the stat sheet. The only thing he was really missing was a sack. So what do y'all give Lorenzo Carter on a scale of 1 to 10? Let's see here. John Harris says the grades are being adjusted due to scheme, P's rushing 3s during the back and the front end of the service. Oh man, on that Hail Mary touchdown they threw too, man. Just only rushing 3 was terrible. Facebook user gives Carter a 10. Francis, how you doing today? Gives Carter a 9. Facebook user said that pick 6 was big time. Was it ever, man? Boy, that really got us going. Facebook user says Carter 9. He's making a difference. Robert Lindsay gives him an 8. David Stark says 8. If Foreman doesn't run him over his high. Eldridge Smith checking in. What's going on with you, bro? It says a 6 only because he got trucked by Foreman would have been a 7. So I see y'all give him a demerit for that. John Harris says 7 just for the INT. That was huge. That was very huge, man. Winston Thoring says Carter a 7, and that's for what he gave us in coverage. Facebook user gives us an 8, gives him an 8 also. And we are grading Lorenzo Carter, y'all. So any other grades for Carter before we move on? Rusty Moore Jr. gives him an 8 also. So far he got some pretty nice grades coming in. So any other grades for Carter before we close the ballots? Okay, so let's tally this up real quick. 10, 8.7. So he's right around 8.3 to 8.5. Son, that's a great game. Anything over 8, hey, you played a great game. Great job out there. As a lot of y'all have already mentioned, the interception was huge. Made a play when we needed a play. And that's what we've been asking for a lot over the years as fans. Somebody make a play for us. And quite honestly, if you don't make that play, maybe we are in a bad mood today instead of being in a better mood. So keep up the good work, Lorenzo. Great job, man. Great game from you. Great game. So we will move on. Let's go to this one should be interesting, I think. Let's see what we'll do here. Let's go to old Dean Marlowe. Y'all, let's do Dean Marlowe. Rocking that number 21 prime time number since we've been talking about Dion today. Dean Marlowe, a total of 4 tackles. And all the tackles were solo. So Dean Marlowe had a total 4 tackles. They all were 4 solo tackles. No pass deflections, anything of that nature. I do gotta point out, I'm sorry, Dean, but he was the cornerback that gave up that Hail Mary touchdown to DJ Moore. That made all of our heart drop. It made, I'm sure, a bunch of us say a lot of cuss words. So we must point that out. We did end up winning, but boy, I don't know what he was doing back there in coverage. Son, did you get lost? Was you looking at a cheerleader? What was you doing, son? But anyway, please let me know what y'all think. What are y'all grades for Dean Marlowe? Yeah, dismiss it all. Hell no. He gives him a 1. David Starks gives him a 4. Facebook user says a 3. Mark Facebook user 6. Somebody else gives him a 1. Rustin Moore gives him a 0. Rustin, he was the one responsible for that nonsense. Yes, he was. Definitely was. Walter Mahone checks in and says, I'm glad that Carolina Panthers missed the field goal. They actually really missed 2 technically, man. But yeah, I definitely agree, man. They gave us an early Christmas present now, and we was happy to accept it. Francis Taylor gives Marlowe a 4. So again, we are grading Dean Marlowe. Any other grades coming in before for Marlowe before we close down the ballots on him? And again, we are grading Dean Marlowe, y'all. Let's see. John Harris says castrated 0.2. Damn. Robert Lindsay gives him a 3. Ooh, it's gonna be ugly. All right, so let's tally these up real quick. We got 1. Oh, hold on. Somebody says a -1. Okay, so I'm sorry. I think I misread that. 2, 1.8, 2, 1.6. Woo! This one of the all-time lows, y'all. He like 1.7, 1.8. So, son, that's basically cut territory. You 1 point anything. You basically need to just turn in your cleats. You can keep the jersey because your name on the back of it. But give us our helmet back. Give us our shoulder pads back. Turn in your key fob so you can't get back into the practice facility, son. Like, son, you was terrible, man. That's absolutely terrible. What's up, Tyrell? Tyrell checking in with a grade says 2. He is strictly a depth DB. Don't expect nothing more than an emergency body at DB, and that's very true. Eldridge Smith said it ain't his fault. He should not have been out there. Yeah, that's a key point. But yeah, y'all, he's below a 2, 1.8, 1.9 if we being friendly, man. So hey, John Harris, we might need to send him to Hartsfield. You know what? Anytime we say Hartsfield, what that means? Yeah, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get out of here. Boy. Let's see. Walter Mahone says, I think that the Atlanta Falcons will go to the Super Bowl and beat the Panthers. Y'all, so Walter said, I think the Falcons will go to the Super Bowl and beat the Panthers. Walter, that definitely will be a first, my friend. If the Falcons and the Panthers go to the Super Bowl and we win, that definitely will be a first, man. That would be and I emphasize the word amazing. That would be amazing to see. Uh, John says just goes to show how one man asleep can kill you. You right about that. Y'all tripping. Hey man, hey man. Walt said we're gonna beat the Panthers in the Super Bowl. Then we gonna beat the Panthers in the Super Bowl, man. Y'all leave Walt alone. Shoot, Walt say he all about positivity, man. All right, so let's go to our next player. Y'all, wow. Let's see. Let's go to our team leader. How about let's talk about the big dog. Let's talk about the dog that run the backyard. Big number 97, Grady Jarrett. Quick thing about Grady, real quickly, man. First off, he's been playing exceptional football this year. Um, well, and just to touch on this real quick, we lost two of our team leaders the last 2 years. You lose Julio Jones, who a lot of the players like. You lost your longtime leader, Matt Ryan, who a lot of the players like, especially the veterans. And so next, indeed, the the next person to step up and take the throne to be the undisputed leader of this team, of course, would be Grady Jarrett. Shout out to Jake Matthews, but from what I can tell, this team rallies around Grady. So Grady to me is now the big dog on campus. So let's take a look at his grades also. His stats. Grady had a total of 4 tackles. 3 of those tackles were solo tackles. He also gave us 2 tackles for loss, y'all. 2 tackles for loss. So I'll give you those numbers again. He had a total of 4 tackles, 3 solo tackles. Grady Jarrett also had 2 tackles for loss. So, what do y'all give our guy Grady Jarrett for his grades today? Tyrell says, I'm still impressed with how competitive the Falcons are with a patchwork roster. I will agree with you on that. I definitely will agree. And I just like the heart and the determination that they've showed thus far in the season. Kyrie Lee, what's up? Kyrie checking in. Says free Ridley. Did you buy one of them jerseys? I sent you the link. You go and support your boy. Did you get one of them jerseys? Tyrell says Malone on one. Robert Lindsay gives Grady a 9. Eldridge gives him a 10 plus. That man been a rock all year. Yeah, man. I hope he keeps it up. I want to see him get first team all pro. David Starr says an 8. Tyrell says Grady is an 8. He is making impactful plays, seen and unseen. Yeah, a lot of stuff that don't even show up on the stat sheet. I'm noticing that every game, man. He's a solid defensive player who needs more pass rushers around him. Very facts. Big facts. Big facts. Facebook uses Grady as a 10 for his consistency, his drive, and his relentless play, and his leadership, may I add. Totally agree with you, Facebook user. Francis says Grady has been playing. She gives him a 10. I agree with that as well. Winston Thorne checking in says 9. Did you see him get out there for that for the tackle on the bubble screen? Yeah, and Grady be doing that. He do stuff like that often, man. It's just he just got a motor, man. It's good when you got an interior lineman like that who just got a motor, relentless, ain't no quit in them. He just been playing phenomenal all year long. John Harrison says, let's get it correct. Grady has been playing great ever since he's been here. He now has helped to clear it up. And where can you see it? And now you can see it. Grade 9 for getting hold every game. They do be holding Grady, man. I see that a lot. He been getting held a lot out there. A lot. Crystal checking in. What's going on, Crystal? How you doing? Says, really can get the hell on. He freed his damn self. We do not need any t-shirts. So Crystal coming in, throwing haymakers at Calvin Ridley. She say he can get the hell on away from here. Crystal, you know my opinion on that. I totally agree with you. You got to excuse Kyrie. That's his boy. He love him some Calvin Ridley. But I can't wait till the day he's traded personally. Rusty Moore says, I'll give Grady a 7. Rusty says, no real impact plays in crunch time yesterday. So Rusty is consistently one of our toughest judges, him and John Harris. So I'm not surprised by that grade. So any other grades for Grady Jarrett before we do our tally? Okay, so let's tally up the numbers real quick, y'all. 9, 10 plus 9.2. And Francis checks in and also gives him a 9 as well. How you doing today, Francis? So y'all, Grady is really with everybody's grade accounted for. He's right at a 9. You know, I know I could nitpick a little bit and say like an 8.9, but somebody did give him a 10 plus, so he's right there at a 9. So Grady, you played damn near a perfect game. Um, big plays, impact, leadership. We damn near can't pretty much ask for more. Just keep up the excellent play. Big dog. What? Somebody comes in late. Facebook user says an 8 could be better. So with an 8 stuck in there, that kind of bumps him down to 8.8ish, 8.9ish. So quite not a 9. I gotta keep it honest because he was right there at the borderline of a 9. So he's more like 8.8 now. But even with that, still up. Hey, hell of a game. Excellent game. Keep up the great play, big man. Keep up the great play. Definitely gonna one day be in the Falcons Ring of Honor. And I personally think with 3, maybe 2 more great years, he'll be an NFL Hall of Famer. So we'll move on. Francis is good. What's up, Tyler? Not much at all. Beautiful day here, so I'm really just enjoying this great weather. I had a great day today personally. Tyrese's greatest collapse in the pocket from the interior. He is wrecking havoc. Excuse me. He is wrecking games for the opposition. True. And I think you even mentioned it earlier, Tyrell. Like a lot of things that Grady does for this team, for the defense specifically, it just don't show up in the stat sheets, man. It really don't. This year, that man been on a mission. And unfortunately for him, he then got cheated out of like 2 sacks. And I mentioned, all pro. And, that's one of the things that they're going to look at. Because, the guys that vote on that don't sit there and watch every play like we do. A lot of times they're going to rely on stats. So, with that said, I still hope he gets in. But still a fantastic, excellent game from Grady. But let's move on. Let's go at Richard Grant, one of our safeties. We'll talk about old Richard Rich. I know as we was watching the game yesterday, some people were a little bit critical of Richard Grant's play, so I'm interested to see what y'all grade him. But his stats are a 6 total tackles, 4 solo tackles. Of course, no sacks, no interceptions, no passes deflected. So that's pretty much his stat sheet. 6 tackles. He assisted on 2 tackles, 4 solo tackles. So what do y'all give Richard Grant? Winston Thornton's greatest, definitely the unsung hero of the team has been for years. I can agree with you on that. David Starr says 3 out of position. Way too much, man. Way too much. Rusty Moore says yesterday was his first bad game this year. I give him a 6. So we got a 3 and we got a 6. And again, y'all, we are grading Richard Grant scale of 1 to 10. So far we got a 3 and we got a 6. Facebook user gives him a 5. So any other grades come in for Richie? Francis gives him a 5. Our other Francis also gives him a 6. So we are grading Richard Grant. Tyrell says Richard Grant 7.5. He makes a play and looks confused and plays out of position too much for my liking. Yeah, man, it's like he's still. I know he's young, he ain't got a whole lot of experience, but that's a problem I think a lot of us have with him, man. Be like, dog, like you don't know what you're supposed to be. I be sitting here like scratching my head sometimes. Like, what is Richard Grant doing? But one thing I do like about him, he don't seem like he's scared to come up and hit. So hopefully he gets it together by year 3. Facebook user says a 5. John Harris says 3 for peeping in the backfield too much. John, he got them peeping eyes. He ain't focused on what you need to be focused on. Rustin says, actually, I'll do a 5. So he gets a demerit. First downgrade of the day. He was out of position a lot. Yes, he definitely was yesterday. I don't think yesterday was one of his better games. JD, what's going on with you, bro? I'll give my boy an 8 baller, bro. So JD gives him a 8. So that's the highest grade so far for Richard Grant. Eldridge Smith comes in and says a 2. So he just thinking too goddamn much out of there. Just play ball, son. Stop thinking. Just go hit somebody. Winston gives him a Winston says Grant gets a 5. He needs to become the playmaker he was in college. I think he's too scared to make a mistake that he doesn't play with his instincts. Man, that's a hell of a comment right there. And I can definitely agree on everything you just said there. So we're agreeing Richard Grant, y'all. Let's tally these grades up real quick light here. Let's see. 3, 5, 6, 5, 4.8. I'll give me 5, 7. People say I don't think he's fully comfortable yet. A lot of thinking. Yep. He just looks like he just like somebody else said, like he almost scared he gonna make a mistake. Just play football, man. You're in the big leagues now. Just play. But y'all, the grade that we got for him, he's like around a 4.8, y'all. Maybe a 4.9 if we want to be nice. He played below average yesterday. For a starter, I'm just gonna say he played bad because you're a starter. You get a 4.8, 4.9. We grade Richard Grant. What's going on, Clayton? We grade Richard Grant. But below average, below mediocre. Right, Richard, we know you can play better than that, bro. And based on the comments that y'all have written, it looks like everybody knows his potential. He could potentially be a good player, but he just got to get it all together mentally. And Clay Murray comes in to give him a 4. So now he's really at about 4.7. Disappointing game, Richie. We're disappointed because we know you can actually play better. We've seen you play good football before. So get it together, home. All right, so we will move on. Let's go to Taquan Graham. We have talked about Big Grady needing some help, and I will be the first to admit Taquan Graham has been a pleasant surprise thus far in the season. Hopefully he don't hit the brick. Hopefully he don't hit the wall and start to tell off on us. But so far from his expectations going into the season, I think he's did fairly well, slightly good. But y'all let me know what y'all think for him yesterday. Taquan Graham had a total of 7 tackles. 4 of those tackles were solo, no tackles for loss, of course, no pass deflections. So again, I'll give you all those numbers. He had a total of 7 tackles. He assisted on 3 tackles. He had 4 solo tackles. So what do y'all give Taquan Graham for yesterday? What are your grades? Tyrell speaking on Grant says he is not playing. He is thinking too much. He would be better in a split safety or single high look. Yeah, he got to get out of his own head, man. He really do. He got to get out. And Dean Pease, I'm sure, is probably talking to him, probably telling him some of the same stuff that we're saying. Eldridge Smith says a solid 7. Surprise player of the season. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm like, man, where this dude come from? we didn't need somebody like you for like the last 5 years. David starts as a 5. Didn't help grading much yesterday. John Harris gives Graham a 7. Rustin Moore gives him a 7. Francis gives him a 5. Our other Francis gives him a 6. Facebook user 6.5. Facebook user gives him a 7. Clayton Murray checks in as a 5. I don't think he had his breakout game yet. All right, so Clayton says there's still a lot of potential that has been untapped for the young man. Tyrell checks in and says Taquan Graham 6.5. He is taking a double team and moving the pocket as well at setting the edge. Just needs to be more polished as a pass rush. I agree. And that's something that he can work on all season. He need to hit up big Chuck Smith and go to Chuck Smith's camp and work with Chuck Smith in the all season. But I definitely like the potential from the young guy. I definitely do. Russ's grand drew a holding call on third down. On the third down, Walker ran for, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry, a secondary gave it up the next play, though. Once Thorne checks in, it gives him a 7. Clay Mercer's a 3. 3 rushing TD. Hold on. 3 rush TD take points away on all players. So I think he said 3 rushing touchdowns. He's taking points away from all the players. So let's tally out these grades real quick, y'all. Got a 7, got a 5. He's right at about 6.6, 6.7. Pretty good game. Slightly good. Fairly well. Marginally good. We have seen better, but you went bad. You can play better, but we ain't mad at you either. We ain't got no real hardcore valid complaints to throw at your way. So we won. So we'll take a game like that. We'll take it. We'll take it. So we're gonna move on. Let's go to Rashaan Evans, who thus far has been one of the leading tacklers on the team. I think he is now actually officially the leading tackler on our team. So we'll go to Rashaan Evans, a total in linebacker, by the way. Total of 9 tackles yesterday, 4 solo tackles yesterday, 1 sack yesterday, 1 tackle for loss yesterday, 1 QB hit yesterday. So let me give you all those numbers again. He had 9 total tackles. He assisted on 5 tackles, 4 solo tackles. Also had a sack yesterday as well. And also 1 tackle for loss. So he really filled up the stat sheet. And again, we're grading for number 54, Rashaan Evans. What do y'all think? What are y'all grades for Rashaan? We on Rashaan Evans, Tyrell. David Starks gives him a 7. Winston Thornton gives him, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Hold on, y'all. I just made a mistake on something. Damn. Francis gives him an 8. Eldridge Smith gives him a 4. Clayton Murray gives him a 7. Facebook user gives him an 8. Facebook user comes in and gives him an 8. Rusty Moore says Rashaan was not actually cover a running back or tight end. He is great in the run game. Blessing that Hail Mary is not on him because he should not have been back there in the first place. 8.5. I totally agree with you, Rusty. I don't know how he ended up back there in the first place. John Harris gives him a 6.5. Do better, DEPs. Don't let Evans cover nobody downfield ever. Right. Well, what is he doing 50 yards down the field as a linebacker trying to keep up with DJ Moore? Rusty Moore Jr. says Rashaan has great instincts too. Tyrell says Evans is an 8. He made plays yesterday, and he is solid run defender. Leaves much to desire as a coverage linebacker. Francis says 9. He had a good game. Crystal gives him a 7. Robert says got a big sack. Not mad at the Hail Mary. Dean P should have had it back there. I totally agree with you on that. We all agree on that. Give me a second, y'all. I just made a mistake doing this. Let me tally up the grades real quick. So we got a 7, we got an 8. Hold on, Edwards gives him a 4. He was on coverage with Marla. I don't think I read that. Clayton said a 7. Also loved the effort, but there were too many missed tackles. So let's see. 4, 7, 7.5, 7.6, 7.4, 7.6, 7.5. So he's right at y'all. He's right at about a 7.5. Looking at the numbers here. So good game. Good game. As y'all mentioned, unfortunately, he was back there when he shouldn't have been back there. On that Hail Mary with DJ Moore. But we really can't blame him for that because he shouldn't have been back there at all. That we'll blame Dean Pease on that one. Definitely should not have him back there. Rest of his no linebacker should be 60 yards downfield. Man, I totally agree. I don't know what kind of coverage we had in the play at that time. Absolutely agree with you on that. All right, so let's move on. So yeah, he's at about 7.5. So we're gonna move on to our next person here. Mikael Walker will be our other linebacker. So his numbers, 11 total tackles, 8 solo tackles, which led the team in solo tackles. He had also 1 tackle for loss yesterday as well. Again, we are grading Mikael Walker, who had 11 total tackles. He assisted on 3 tackles, had 8 solo tackles also. See, he technically was our leading tackler for yesterday. He also did have an interception, which I felt like he should have caught, but he wasn't able to bring it in. Rest of you, why? So what do y'all give Mikael Walker yesterday for his grades? David Starks gives him a 8. Francis Taylor gives him a 9. And again, we are grading Mikael Walker, our starting linebacker. John Harris says that was not a Hail Mary. That was the bomb. And some damn body is supposed to be back there. Yeah, that was your boy Dean Marlowe was back there, man. Getting burnt like toast. Rusty gives him an 8.5. John Harris gives him a 7. Francis gives him a 8. Tyrell says Walker is the better coverage linebacker. If Pease wanted one on the field, it should have been him. I would have went into dime and left the backers off the field. I would have did the same thing. Or even Troy Anderson, Troy Anderson can actually run with DJ Moore. Like, why is Evans back there? Like, they're not finna run the ball. That was just a weird play call defensively. Facebook user gives him an 8. Facebook user gives him an 8. Robert Lindsay gives him a 7. Clayton Murray says he gives him a 6. The interception was the ice maker for the game, and also too many tackles. So any other grades coming in for Walker? So let me tally these up real quick, and then we'll go to offense, y'all. 7, 8, 9, 7.8, 7.6, 7.6. Tyrell said Walker 7.5 can run the tight ends and backs. He does miss some tackles and could be better against the run. Yeah, that does concern me. Him tackling, his tackling do. Yes, we did do Carter also, y'all. But it looks like Walker comes in, y'all. He's at about a 7.4, 7.7. So overall, pretty good game for him. Definitely not bad by any means. Pretty good game for him. Overall, we're very satisfied with how you play. Could have played better, but again, just like your partner in crime at linebacker Evans, we're not complaining at all. So now let's go to the offense now. Just a moment here. Let's scroll up and go to offense. I think for the first time in weeks we can actually do our wide receivers. So we actually threw the ball yesterday. So just a moment here. In fact, let's start with our wide receivers. Let's start with Kyle Pitts taking number 4 in the draft last year. We took him number 4. Dub, that's a unicorn. So Kyle Pitts yesterday had a total of 5 receptions, 80 yards. Julio Jones like 16 yards per reception, 1 touchdown. His longest catch of the day was 33 yards. He was targeted 9 times. So obviously, Arthur Smith, I don't know if he was listening to us. No, I'm just playing. But obviously, he made a point to get Kyle Pitts involved in the game. You drafted the guy for it. You got to throw to him. But again, 5 receptions, 80 yards, 16 yards per reception, 1 touchdown. The longest catch was 33 yards. So what grade do y'all give Kyle Pitts for yesterday? See, David Starr says a 8 for Kyle Pitts. Rusty Moore says Art Smith and Terry Fontenot are getting what did I say? Are getting most of the Dan Quinn TD guys. If you were drafted before 2021 and you're still on the roster and really getting a lot of playing time, this new regime likes you. Example, Mikael Walker. Bad example, Matt Hennessy. Hen dog. I like the hen dog, man. I don't think Hennessy was bad. But I know the only guys from that Dimitrov contract era that they actually extended were Jake Matthews and Grady Jarrett. Crystal checks in and gives Kyle Pitts an 8. Francis gives him an 8.5. Clayton gives him an 8.5. He had some key blocks, especially the last Mariota run. Great point. You are absolutely correct. John Harris is again offensive scores adjusted for scheme and additionally participation. And he gives Pitts an 8 also. Robert says a 9, 3 for his dance. He got to work on that. Hey man, yeah, he did the Dirty Bird. What it was the game before, I think, and I don't know what he did the last time. Facebook uses 8.5, 5 for the blocking efforts he produced. Facebook says 9. Impressive ball security after getting blasted by a defensive player. Yeah, man, I thought he was gonna cough that ball up. Facebook uses an 8 for Kyle Pitts. Russ says, one of my biggest criticisms of Kyle Pitts is that he has been playing soft. He played tough yesterday, lowering his shoulder and all. I want to see more of this unicorn. And I like that TD dance he did. He gives him a 9. John Harrison, I thought Dead Roaches had 6 legs until I saw Hennessy on his back. Man, you wild. Tyrell said Pitts a 9. Finally put a complete game together yesterday. His routes were clean for the most part. You can see he is working on his blocking. And I heard him say that's something that he did work on in the offseason, his blocking. Clay Mercy, he did the Cardi B and Gorilla song dance. Okay, I didn't even know that, man. Glorilla, excuse me. I didn't know that, man. I'm getting old, Clay. I didn't know where that dance came from, but thank you for letting me know. So let's tally this up, y'all. That's an 8. That's another 8. 8.4, 8.4, 3.5, 8.5, 8.4, 8.5. So Kyle Pitts, y'all, a little bit over 8.5. We can say about an 8.6 for Kyle Pitts. Fantastic game, young man. You looked like a unicorn yesterday. A lot of us were impressed by your blocking. So you played a phenomenal game. Would have been even better if we were able to get you over 100 yards. Hey, man, but we're not complaining. You got in the end zone, and some people love your dance. Some people hated your dance. But, great game, Kyle Pitts. So let's go to Drake London next, y'all. We'll do Drake London. Drake had a total of 4 receptions, 31 yards, 7.8 yards per reception. Longest catch of the day was 17 yards. He was only targeted 5 times. He caught the ball 4 of the times that he was targeted. So he caught 80% of the passes that was thrown his direction. So just once again, his stats: 4 receptions, 31 yards, 7.8 yards per reception. Longest catch of the day was 17 yards. So what is y'all grade for Drake London for yesterday? Chris said the dance was stiff and ugly. David starts at 7 because he caught most of his targets. True that. Francis says an 8. Facebook user says an 8.5. Always solid. John Harris says Drake London 8. Just glad he was thrown. Valid statement, John. Clay Mercer 7. His catches were clutch moments. True that. He Drake always makes some clutch catches, don't he? Him as a kid. Russ says targeted 5 times, caught 4, so that's 80%. Pretty simple. He gets an 8 then. I like it. And he always bullying these small DBs. Love to see it. Yeah, very physical receiver. Robert Lindsay says an 8. Facebook user says 7.5, taking that big hit and was able to stay on his feet and move forward for extra yardage. Yeah, he's real tough, big physical receiver. I love it, man. Francis gives him 8. Need to target him more. I agree. We got Pitts involved in the game or more yesterday. Maybe we can do the same for Drake London this coming weekend against the Chargers. Tyrell says Drake gets an 8. He made some clutch catches and made catches over the middle and still had ball security. Yep. Yeah, man. He can take a hit. And you love to see that from your wide receivers when they can take a hit and deliver a hit and still hold on to the ball. Hey, man, that's what you're asking for as a fan and also, of course, as a coaching staff. So let's tally up the numbers for Drake London unless we got some more that comes in. Let's see. JD Stacy checks in and says a 9. That boy is a baller. Not his fault. The targets were down. Yeah. We do have to consider that. As well. Winston Thorns checks in. And Winston, man, my bad. I hit something on the StreamYard. I'll send you a message, man. But Winston says 8. He had 2 big blocks. One on Pitts, big play, and one for Bird TD. Yeah, that block for Bird sent him into the end zone, man. So yeah, he's a great blocker, man. Kyle, and like y'all say, Kyle Pitts becoming a better blocker also. It kind of looking like Julio in his prime and Sanu in his prime when they used to get out there and block for Freeman and Tevin Coleman, man. I love to see the receivers blocking. Crystal says 8, need more targets, but he is tough after the catch. Very, very tough after the catch. And I hope we can get him more targets because at the beginning of the season, we was targeting him more, and he was definitely producing for us. Facebook says 8, London the dog, and took the punishment. I could not agree with you more, my friend. So let's tally up these numbers, y'all. Got a 7, got an 8. 7.7, 7.6. He right at 8. Right at 8. Great game, Ricky. I think a lot of us did consider the fact, and I know a lot of y'all didn't mention it. He only targeted 5 times and he caught 4 of them. 80% catch rate. We like the fact that you did make some key catches for us, even though you only had 4. But you delivering punishment. You know, these DBs gonna remember you the next time they try to tackle you. So keep up the great job, Ricky. Walter Mahone checking back in says, "Hey, what's going on, Walter?" Walter said, "We're gonna win the Super Bowl against the Panthers." I love it, Walter. I love it, man. Love it. All right, so let's go on. It's only fair that we do Damiere Byrd, man. We can't leave him out after such an important play that he made. Damiere Byrd, 3 receptions, 67 yards. He averaged 22.3 yards per reception. He had a big TD for us, a huge touchdown for 47 yards. He was targeted 6 times, and he gave us 2 first downs. So again, Damiere Byrd, 6 targets, 47 yards, 1 touchdown. I'm sorry, the longest catch was 47 yards. Excuse me. 1 touchdown, 22.3 yards per reception, 67 receiving yards, and 3 receptions. And I don't even have to tell y'all that 47-yard touchdown he gave us was huge. He made the play, got a block, and the guy looked like Tyreek Hill out there. I did not know that man was that fast. Is his 40 speed like that, or was that just football speed? Man, because he hit another gear and he just walked away. I thought for sure they was going to tackle him, but boy, I'm glad I'm wrong. But anyway, Damiere Byrd gang, what do y'all give him for his grade yesterday? David Starr says 9. The go-ahead TD was huge, very huge, man, very, very huge. Byrd, man, 8.5 pivotal touchdown. That's coming from John Harris. Facebook user says 8.5. Byrd is always coming in the clutch when needed, reminded me of Turbo Taylor. Man, Turbo shows to come, made some big plays for us. Oh man, y'all remember that movie put on that defender? And I was gonna say the Super Bowl, but I'm not gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that today. Winston says the 8 would have been a 9, but he didn't try to break up that interception. We'll still take that 8 from you. Facebook user says 9 for our new Taylor Gabriel. So y'all saying that's the new Taylor Gabriel. I like it. I really, really like it. Francis gives him a 9, a strong 9 coming in. Rusty says both of those interceptions came against Bird, bad throws, but at some point you need to become a DB if you see it's going to get picked. Redeemed himself on that TD though, a 8 for me, a strong 8 coming in for Rusty. Robert gives him another strong 8. Clayton Murray gives him a 6. The interceptions, he was a little pup. He fought and lost the battle, but he deserves some points for that one touchdown. So Clayton Murray wants him to fight more when he see balls about to get interception. I can definitely dig it. Francis gives him an 8. Facebook user says a 9 just because he did it to his former team. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, I like that too. Crystal says Bird gets a 9 for yesterday. Would have been a 10 had Mariota not thrown that interception on the first play. Tyrell says 8. Bird gets an 8. He made the most explosive play of the game for us. He has made several plays like that this year. He's a safety net for Mariota. His routes are clean as well. Yeah, he does make some big plays. Don't get a lot of credit, but we saw it yesterday for sure. John says further on Bird, he's been getting held and interfered with every game he's in. I saw on one of those interceptions, there was a little back and forth going on. The flag wasn't called on that, but I know exactly what you mean. So let's tally up these grades real quick, y'all. We got a 9, 8.7, 8.7, 8.6, 8.7, 8.7, 8.6, 8.4. 8.4. So he's right at an 8.3 to 8.5 for Bird. So somewhere in that area, 8.3, 8.5. Great game, son. Great game. You gave us a huge touchdown that we really, really needed. Really changed the complexion of the game, even though we tried to give it back away. We don't win that game without that catch and the yards after catch, more importantly. So great game, son. I hope what you did on that touchdown, and hopefully that gives Arthur Smith and Mariota more confidence in you, and we can get you more involved in the offense. Fantastic game. Almost perfect, but fantastic game. Fantastic game. So let's move on. Next, we got see, do we need to do any more receivers? Let me see. I think that's good for the receivers. Let's go to our running backs, y'all. Let's talk about our running backs. Let's start off with Caleb Huntley. We all know Caleb's story. Called into action after we got injured. Cordero Patterson went to injured reserve. So, we needed somebody else to come up on the depth chart. So Caleb Huntley got the call. And boy, has he answered since he got that call. I'm going to tell y'all, when I watch Caleb Huntley run, he reminds me so much of Gerald Riggs. Just his running style. It ain't that super flashy. It ain't Marshall Faulk like. It ain't Barry Sanders like, where he going to do a lot of faking out and going around guys. I'm just going to get the ball. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to always fall for it. I'm going to find a hole. I'm going to get in it, and I'm going to run tough. Just kind of like a old school Gerald Riggs type of guy. When I'm watching him run, I see Gerald Riggs in that red Falcon jersey and that red Falcon helmet. He just reminds me so much of a new generation Gerald Riggs. Just always moving forward, always somehow getting yards. Even when there's no hole there, he finds a way to get 3 or 4 yards. And I fucking love it, man. I really do. Let me start rambling. Caleb Huntley stats. 16 rushing attempts. 91 yards. 5.7 yards per rush. Longest rush of the game yesterday was 30 yards, and I thought he was about to kick it in the third game, get a touchdown, but it didn't happen. He gave us three first downs yesterday also. So let me give you those stats once again for Caleb Huntley. 16 rushing attempts, 91 yards, 5.7 yards per attempt. Longest run of the day was 30 yards. No touchdown, but he did give us 3 first downs. What are y'all grades coming in for Caleb Huntley right now? Russ says that might be corny, but he was a dirty bird yesterday. Okay. John says even though there were 2 interceptions and no long passes, you got to do that, back them up. Yeah, you got to keep them honest, John. You got to keep them honest. And I'm glad we tested them yesterday as well. I'm glad we did that. Hopefully we'll continue to do that throughout the rest of the season. David says the 9, his toughness has been key for us. Yes, it has, man. Just a tough runner, man. Very tough. Crystal gives him a 9. He has really stepped up. He has, Crystal. He stepped up big for us, man, because I'm not going to lie, Crystal, when Patterson went down, I got a little worried about the running game because those first 3 games, Patterson had just been so effective for us. And when he went down, I was like, oh, boy, there go our running game. But Huntley stepped in, and we really ain't missed a beat yet. Facebook uses Huntley a 9. That guy not only falls forward, he fumbles forward. That was pretty creative, Facebook user. Rustin says Huntley should be RB1. Algier should be RB2. Put Patterson on the snap count. Save him for the playoff run that's coming. Huntley gets an 8.5. I like the heart he runs with. And he recovered his own fumble. Yeah, somebody mentioned that right before you as well. Winston checks in and says he gives him a 10. That man has cemented his spot as the runner after Patterson, RB2 after Patterson. Damian Williams is not going to see the field for us. Deuces. What happened to Damian Williams? Is he still on injured reserve, Winston? I hadn't heard that name in so long, but you're right. You can't sit Huntley down when Patterson come down. You got to just move him down to RB2. Great point. Clayton Murray gives him a Huntley an 8. Okay, I'm surprised, Clayton, because Clayton kind of like John Harris. Clayton be getting some tough grades, man. But Clayton says Huntley an 8. All positive yards, always north. Should have kept feeding him, but Arthur Smith, I like it, Clayton. Francis is a 9. Huntley stepped up to the assignment big time. He definitely did, Francis. He definitely stepped up huge for us. Facebook uses Caleb a 7. He runs hard and hits the hole with conviction. With more reps, he can find those holes like Cordero Patterson. Robert gives him a 10. Running tough always. I don't think he got stuck behind the line of scrimmage yet. You might be right there, Robert. John says Huntley falls for 4 yards. Give him a 9 for showing the other running back how to run behind this line. So John said he gave the other running backs the blueprint on how to run behind this line. Man, Huntley has been fantastic for us. Facebook user says 8. He's a success story. Needed that tool in our box. Been helping us win from day one. All facts. JD checks in a solid 10, a perfect score. Francis also checks in and gives him a 9. Ooh. So once says Damian Williams has been practicing for 2 weeks. I think the Charger game is last. He's eligible for him. Last game for him to be eligible for the rest of the year. Okay, gotcha. So let's tally up the numbers, y'all. This should be pretty interesting. That's a 9, 8.8, 9.2, 9.1, 8.9, 9.2, 2. Shit, y'all, he like a 9.1, 9.2. Damn near perfect game, son. For a guy coming off the practice team, like the player like to get a 9+ because he like 9.1, 9.2 based on our grades. Shoot, man. Phenomenal job. Damn near perfect game, Huntley. I mean, we can't ask for much more from you, man. You know, you technically not even the starting running back. And you just come in here and you just punishing these guys when you get the ball. So, man, he has been like the rose that grew from concrete, Huntley. And I'm glad to know that we gave him a legit, real contract. So, man, sky's the limit for that young guy. So we'll move on. Excellent game, Huntley. Let's go to Tyler Algier. He got enough carries to talk about. Algier had 14 rushing attempts, 39 yards, 2.8 yards per rush. Longest rush of the day was 13 yards. So again, we are grading Tyler Algier. 14 rushing attempts, 39 yards, 2.8 yards per carry. His longest rush was 13 yards, but he did give us 2 first downs. So what would y'all grade Algier? What y'all grade for him? See, if Huntley develops his hands, he could be RB1 the next 2 years. I agree with you on that, man. Hey, you never know, man. Patterson only got 1 year left on his deal. Hey, yeah, man, he might step up and challenge him in training camp next year. You just never know, man. But I love it, man. When the last time we had this debate, like who should, since Tevin and Devontae was in their prime. So I love it. I'm here for it, man. I really love it. Algier gets a 6 from John Harris. Russ says Huntley took getting practice squatted personally. Like Michael Jordan. Oh, yeah, I took that personally, man. Art Smith ain't put me on the 5th 3-man. Russ, I took that personally. David Starr says a 7. The yards kept us on schedule. Francis checks in, gives him an 8. Russell gives Algier a 6. Winston gives Algier a 6. I'm expecting more out of him. Clayton says a 5. He still need to learn to find a hole consistently or make his own hole. Okay, I can dig that, man. That's where that vision and agility come in too, Clayton. Francis says 7.5. I like the kid. I like him too, man. Young rookie, he done showed us some potential. So I'm excited to see, his maturation process with the Falcons. Facebook user says Tyler gets an 8. The rookie's only going to get better. I think so as well, especially once we start throwing to him more out of the backfield. Facebook user says 8 because he can catch out the backfield and the TD. Yeah, I just said that too. He can catch out of the backfield also. Hold on, did I not mention that he had a TD? Did I miss that somehow? Let's see. Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. He did have a receiving TD. So let me give him his numbers again. I forgot to give his receiving numbers. Algier did have 3 receptions, 46 yards, 15 yards per reception, and he did have 1 touchdown, and he got 2 first downs catching the ball. So y'all pardon me for not giving him his due credit on everything he did yesterday. And thank you, Facebook user, for reminding me about that too. Facebook user says Algier gets an 8.5. Not only is a hard-nosed runner, he blocks great and soft hands for catching the ball. Notice during pass plays, he's in for blocking protection. You are absolutely right. Absolutely correct. And then he don't mind getting his hands dirty when it comes to blocking. Rustin says from the time he caught the screen pass, I went to the kitchen and made some lunch. When I got back to my room, he was just getting across the goal line. Clayton Murray says, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot the screen adjusted to a 7. Yeah, I did too, man, to be honest with you. To somebody in the comments reminded me. So we grade Tyler Algier. Any more grades before we tally this up? Okay, let's do the math. Six point 6.7, 6.6, 6.5, 6.3, 6.6, 7.2. And Robert Lindsay gives him an 8 also. So yeah, he's right at about 7.2, 7.3. Pretty good game. Didn't do a whole lot running the ball for us, obviously, but as somebody in the comments reminded me, did a fantastic job catching the ball, also getting a touchdown for us as well. So you combine the running and the receiving numbers. Hey, you played a pretty good game, rookie. Keep up the good work. Keep getting better. We like what we saw. The running it'll come into place. Huntley picked up the slack on that, but you was able to pick up the slack in other places, getting across the end zone and being a great receiving threat out of the backfield as a running back. So we appreciate that. So We're almost through with the offense, y'all. Let's go ahead and do our quarterback. It's Marcus Mariota, of course. Let me scroll up a little bit here. Okay, we're gonna start off with Marcus Mariota's rushing stats first. He had he rushed the ball. He had 6 attempts rushing, 43 yards, 7.1 yards per attempt rushing, 2 first downs rushing, and man, did he have a crucial 30-yard run late in the game that we really, really, really needed. I mean, when I say clutch, that was Michael Jordan's shot against the Utah Jazz in '98 to win the championship type clutch. Boy, we needed that run at that time, Mariota. So keep that in mind. And also throwing the ball, I'll let y'all decide. Throwing the ball, he had 28 pass attempts, 20 completions yesterday, 253 passing yards. He had 9 yards per attempt passing yesterday, which is pretty damn good. 3 touchdowns throwing the ball yesterday, 2 interceptions, and I'm sure he'd love to get those balls back if he can. He'd probably went somewhere else. He's only sacked 2 times yesterday. So let me give you those numbers once again. Mariota had he damn near had 300 yards worth of production yesterday, but he had 253 passing yards. He was 20 out of 28, 9 yards per attempt, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, only sacked 2 times. Running the ball, he had a total of 43 yards on only 6 attempts and 2 first downs. So, ladies and gentlemen, I humbly ask, what are your grades for our quarterback one yesterday? Russell Moore said 7.5. That dumbass pick in overtime should have cost us the game. It almost did, too. Davis says 8.9. The 2 interceptions were horrible. Got to knock him down for those. Yeah, they was, man. They were just brain farts, man. Winston says a 9. Those 2 interceptions hurt, but outside of that, he showed his ass and his abilities on his birthday. And it was his birthday. Happy belated birthday to QB1. It definitely was his birthday. Clay Murray says 9.5. Them 2 interceptions were not smart. Definitely not. But understand trying to follow the play. I can dig that. Facebook user says 8 because he comes through when we need it, and he never give up after a fuck up. Yeah, I got to give him credit on that too. Even when he make those boneheaded plays, which he often does sometimes, he don't let it deter his confidence and him knowing what he got to do for this team. So I respect him for that. Crystal says I give him a 6.5 because of him running this past game. Passing, he still needs to work. He still needs some work. I did like the way he worked in the pocket. I can agree with that. Also, there was a lot of plays that he was able to extend for us. And again, that big run that he had late in the game to help us win the game toward the end as well. Robert Lindsay says a 10 for setting up the game-winning field goal. Rusty says, I know I gave him a 7.5, but I forgot it was a birthday, so I'll bump it up and give him an 8. Happy birthday. Eric Parker checking in. What's going on? Eric says an 8 for Mariota. I'm chilling. Eric, how you doing today, brother? Francis says 8.5. He need to work on throwing the long ball. Yeah, he do. That's his weakness, and also sometimes he throws the ball a little too high, so definitely got to work on that as well. Facebook used a 7.5. The pass to Bird was clutch, but the pass to Pitts was a game changer. Not only did he step up in the pocket, he found Pitts to the left, something he typically doesn't do. Yeah, he looked great at certain points of the game yesterday. Francis checks in and gives him a 7. Facebook user says 9.5, would have been 8.5, but I give him an extra point for pissing off the bringing Ritter crowd. I dig it. I definitely dig it. They had to silence themselves yesterday. Robert says, I blame Mark Smith for that interception in overtime. Anytime he doesn't have him throwing the ball. Yeah, I didn't think we had to challenge it there at that play, at that particular moment, because I think that was second down. I wouldn't mind continue to run the ball. Stick to your strengths. Exactly. Continue to run the ball. That's your strengths. Crystal checks in and says, I'll give him a 10 for heart and his birthday boy. And he was the birthday boy. He had the team still believing. Yeah, he does got a lot of heart. You know, there are some things he not good at as far as quarterbacking, but I don't challenge his heart. I mean, even sometimes when he fumble, he always trying to make a play. You could tell he don't like to slide. He be want to deliver punishment. He out there trying to run like he a running back. Like, man, if you don't go and slide, but that just means that he does have a lot of heart and desire. Was it those two interceptions with Matt Ryan special yesterday? Quack. Yeah, they was. John says Mariota showed yesterday that he can be more than a game manager, but he is staring at receivers like your boy Matt. That's on the QB coach. Stop, John. I give him an 8 in spite of the odds against him. I can dig it. So let's tally up that, man. That's our last player. So let's tally up the quarterback here real quick. 7.5, 8.9, 8.4. I bet 8.6. 8.9. 8.7. 8.5. 8.8. 8.6. Cool to go. Y'all, he rated about 8.5, 8.6 for Mariota yesterday. Son, damn good game. You know, we sit here and we'll talk John Catcher when you mess up, but you like Chris was saying, hey, man, you got that heart, that determination, that desire. And we saw it, you know, during certain points of the game yesterday. You made some clutch plays. You made some bonehead plays. But over and beyond, we won the game because of a lot of plays that you made for us yesterday. So, hey, damn good game yesterday from Marcus Mariota. Outside of probably just 2 bonehead throws, maybe his second best game of the year, maybe his best game of the year, depending on how you decide to look at it. But over and beyond, hey man, you played a damn good game yesterday. Let's grade our coaches, y'all. Then we're gonna get out here. Let's start off with Coach Pease. Yesterday, let's go over what Carolina did on defense to us. I'm sorry, what Carolina did on offense to our defense, since he's our defensive coordinator. Carolina had a total of 478 total yards against us yesterday. They had 309 passing yards with P.J. Walker. They also had 169 rushing yards against us yesterday. They averaged 6.5 yards per rush against us. They had 23 first downs. They were 5 out of 13 on third down. They were 1 out of 2 on fourth down. They ran a total of 73 plays. They only allowed 1 sack, and they punted 3 times. They did lose the time of possession. They possessed the ball for 31 minutes and 31 seconds yesterday. So, and also, as a bunch of us pointed out, and I got to make a point to say this during his grading, but for whatever reason, he had Evans back there for that bomb that they threw and scored. I don't know what kind of defense you call that when you got the damn linebacker 60 yards down the field, but Pease, don't ever call that again. But anyway, what grade do y'all give Coach Dean Pease for yesterday, please? Versus some people said we overpaid for a kicker, but I personally think he's worth every penny. I think so too as well. Chris says we did horrible on defense. Davis says a 4. We didn't blitz enough to help the depleted secondary. John said, did we grade the kickers? Got to give both some love. No, I didn't grade them, but we can grade them if y'all like. Versus Pease gets a 2.5. We got torched by ex NFL quarterback and an interim coach. Yeah. You right. And we shouldn't have got torched like that yesterday, man. Even with our injuries, man, like, come on now. Like, them dudes ain't that good. Crystal gives Coach Pease a 4. Francis gives Cool a 10 for yesterday. Facebook user says a 7. He got to stay away from that soft ass zone D, and we need to blitz more to help out our wounded secondary. I totally agree on that. Francis gives him a 4 for Pease yesterday. Eric Parker gives him a 5. And we're grading Coach Defense Coordinator Coach Pease. Any other grades coming in for Coach Pease? Facebook user said incomplete. Sometimes you don't get a grade. John Harris is notorious for giving you an incomplete. If he feel like you don't deserve a grade, he'll give you an incomplete in a minute. Facebook user says a 6. We bend but don't break. These are paid professionals. No way you place a linebacker on their best player along with PJ Walker coming from XFL. I don't know what defense that was, man. I can't put that one together at all. Francis gives him a 6 for Coach P's also yesterday. John Harris says for rushing 3, he gives him a 4. Clay Murray checks in, says a 5. Look better than last week. That's not saying a lot, Clay. And we won. No thanks to him. Clay, you wild, man. You say no thanks to him. Weston checks in, says P's is a 5. We should have zoned Blitz Walker to death yesterday. Yeah, we getting too much time on Winston. That's something John has been talking about all the broadcasts. Like, you only rushing 3 guys. Like, you made it easy for their quarterback, man. Like, come on. Russ says I'm often baffled watching our defense. I would say more than 50% of the time we actually get to the quarterback when we blitz. Then it's like we won't call another blitz for 2 quarters. I would love to ask P's the logic behind some of the shit. Dean P's probably cuss you out. You know how him and Arthur Smith get when they get challenged in the media. But let's go ahead and do our tally up for our defensive coordinator, man. We got a 4, 2.5, 3, 3.1, 3.6, 3.6, 3.7, 4.8, 4, 4.1, 4.2. Yeah, Eric, we did Armstrong earlier. I think he was the first player we did. Dean Pease gets like a 4.2, y'all. Disappointing. Very, very disappointing. We're just gonna go ahead and say bad game you called yesterday, Coach. And a lot of that was due to that touchdown where ain't nowhere in the hell you should have had linebacker back there trying to keep up with their best wide receiver. 2 back-to-back terrible defensive games, so gotta do better. You gotta bounce back against the Chargers. So we're gonna do our head coaching, y'all, and then we're gonna get out of here, man. We're gonna give our offensive stats because hey, that's he calls the offense. Who's in charge of the offense? So the Falcons yesterday we had a total of 406 total yards. We had 239 passing yards yesterday, and as we consistently do, we ran the ball great yesterday. We had 167 yards rushing yesterday. We averaged 6.1 yards per play. Total yesterday. We had 21 first down. We was very impressive on third down, 6 out of 12. We ran a total of 67 plays. We only got sacked twice. We did punt 4 times. We had 7 penalties for 64 yards. And we won the time of possession, which is always critical in football. We possessed the ball for 36 minutes and 34 seconds. And more importantly than those stats, we won the game yesterday. So what grade will y'all give Coach Arthur Smith for yesterday's coaching against the Panthers? Russ says if you want defense to start playing better, you know what you need to do. You cut Marlo Lamar. That shows accountability. Hey, he might be out of here, man. But I don't know because we got. If we didn't have so many guys hurt back there, he might get cut. But I don't know if they're gonna do that with all the injuries we got back there. Now I got to say this: the injuries hurt P's. Yeah, and I was just saying that the rest of too, like those injuries. So you are absolutely correct about that, John. David says 9 for turning Pitts and London loose. John Harris says Smith as a head coach, OC giving him a 6. So there was something that John didn't like. I think about Arthur Smith yesterday because he gave him a 6. Rustin says even before the injuries, we were 30th in pass defense. True that. We probably last place now, I think. Facebook users overall give them a B-. They can get a woo in my nature boy voice. Facebook users says an 8, need better play calling, need to stay with what works. Stay with what works. Don't flip it up. Don't change it up. Don't try to get pretty, man. Just stay with what works. Crystal says that damn play call in the fourth quarter at the end still got me heated. I feel you. Let's see. Facebook user says a solid 9. This is Smith's team. You can see his fingerprints on the team this year. Defenses are scratching their head. I agree with you on that, man. Hey, we top 5 in rushing, man. Like, whoa, when the last time we seen that? Russ says R. Smith gets an 8. Not sure why we are throwing jump balls to Bird down the field when we have two other receivers that are 6'4 plus. I totally agree. I think sometimes you see something work once and you think it'll work twice, but sometimes the first time it worked, it just happened at the right moment, But I know I get what you're saying. Francis says at 7.5 need better play calling. Clayton says he gets a 6 the last 3 minutes of the fourth quarter. And overtime subtract 4 points from my 8 I was going to give to him, but nice timeout knowing the kicker. Eric gives him an 8. Winston checks in and says Art Smith gets an 8. Would have been a 9, but he kept calling deep shots for a 5'11 wide receiver. Somebody mentioned that earlier. When we have a 6'4 and 6'6 players out there. Yeah. I think Rusty said that earlier also. So we're all in agreement on that. So we'll tally up our grades for Coach Smith, y'all, and then we'll be done. Let's see. That's a 9, 7.5. 7.6. 7.9. It's an 8. 7.9. 7.8. 7.8. 7.9. So Coach Smith, y'all, he's right about 7.8, 7.9. Just below 8, just slightly below 8. So pretty good game yesterday, Coach Smith. Pretty good game. We don't have any really valid big complaints from yesterday. A few things we could have did better here or there, but overall we are very, very satisfied. Good game. We're happy to get the win, crazy win, but we definitely gonna take it. And I think we can all agree that we're seeing him get better as a head coach right before our eyes. So that's a good thing as well. Chris says use Felipe if that's the case. I think I seen Felipe in for one play yesterday, or that might have been the Bengals game, but I did see him get in like a player either yesterday or the Bengals game. I can't remember which one. And we are gonna give Koo a 10. he solidified the game for us, so we'll all give him a 10. Hey y'all, but that's it, man. It's been a great another grading session here. Chopping up with y'all. I definitely enjoy doing this every week after the game. So as long as y'all down, I'll come every week and we'll grade our team after the game. We got the Chargers this coming weekend. We back in the ATL. So let's go ahead and win this game, man, and get above 500 for the first time in almost 2 years. Okay, so Felipe did play yesterday. I thought I did see him. Chris says Koo is the new Matt Brown. Yeah, he is, man. Young Ho Koo. And that's good. I remember when Koo first came to the team, some of us fans were giving him a little bit of flack because of the number he's wearing, but I can confidently say that Koo has earned his number. So, we got 2 Falcons greats that have worn number 7. So that number has done us well as a franchise. So shout out to Mike Vick, number 7. Shout out to Young Ho Koo, number 7. Hey, y'all, but I took up a lot of y'all time. I always appreciate y'all coming and doing this with me. God willing, I'll be back doing it next week after the Chargers game. And hopefully we'll be celebrating the win. Monday Night Football tonight. So y'all check out the game. Have a good and productive week. And I'll get with y'all later on. Peace.